only about 20 some odd games into the season. The team that I'm about to bring up actually had a COVID issue, so they haven't even gotten to 20 games yet. But I do think it's worth noting. So I was one of the guys who, out of college, I said, if I can get a big guy with Zion Williamson's athletic ability, his finishing skills at the rim, his ability to affect the game without having plays ran for him, and his ability to make highlight plays and be a brand, right? That is important. He's an already made brand coming off of all the high school highlights, the Instagram followers, the YouTube clips, and then the year at Duke. I'm like, this dude is a brand, and that's important to me. If I'm a bad team, I want to get better, but I want to sell tickets while I'm doing it. I do. If I'm a bad team, if I can sell tickets while I'm a bad team, that's usually a good sign. I said I'd take Zion Williamson number 1 over Ja Morant. That was a mistake of me. Listen, man, one thing I did get right is I said Ja Morant, who's a very humble kid. And I'm from Memphis. I have not bumped into Ja. I haven't been in Memphis in a while. I haven't bumped into Ja yet, but I can't wait to meet him and interview him soon. I knew Ja Morant's personality would fit in with Memphis seamlessly. I knew it. I almost thought it might fit in a little too good, if you know what I mean. And what I mean by that is I knew he'd be really good in Memphis. I compared him to like a Damian Lillard. I thought Ja Morant's game was a hybrid of Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook's. And then I also thought his personality was more Damian Lillard, right? A very loyal guy, just wanted an opportunity from someone. And the Grizzlies, even though he was the number 2 pick in the draft, and a lot of teams would have given him opportunity, Ja's like, I'm forever grateful for the team that did it. Somebody had to go up there and make the selection and say, I'm the number 2 pick in the draft. And the Grizzlies, even though it was a layup, no pun intended, because he's really great at that, the Grizzlies went up there and did it. So he's forever in debt to the Grizzlies, right? I knew he'd be really good, but he's great. And the point that I really wanted to make in this video is, look, Zion gets the headlines, and Zion and the Pelicans still get the TV games. And I promise you it's not because of Lonzo Ball or Brandon Ingram right now. It's because of Zion, even though Brandon Ingram is an all-star. It's because of Zion. It's because of he does have something. He does have some star-like ability to him. He does have it. But I do think it's disrespectful to Ja Morant. Look, when was the last time you looked at the standings? And the Memphis Grizzlies missed a few games due to COVID. They're only 9-7, but statistically, they're the 5th seed in the Western Conference. You do realize Ja Morant almost missed a month with an ankle sprain, right? So this team was able to stay afloat without the services of Ja Morant. How is that so? Okay, Zion. When he wasn't available for the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram was getting his, but the Pelicans for damn sure wasn't the 5 seed out west last year. Zion comes back. The Pelicans miss the playoffs. The Grizzlies miss it by literally one loss. Literally one loss to the Blazers. Okay. All right. What has Ja done in Memphis? Something about, and I want to give that coaching staff some credit as well, but Ja Morant has instilled something in that Grizzlies team to which they play hard because their leader always plays hard. I knew the Grizzlies wouldn't fall as far as a lot of people thought they would when Ja went down with that ankle sprain a few weeks ago against the Nets, because number one, they want to play for Ja. Number two, I knew a lot of teams, it's Memphis, it's a small market. I knew a lot of teams would not play a lot of their guys. The Memphis Grizzlies would become their rest night, and we saw that. I saw Joel Embiid sit out against the Grizzlies, a couple other guys. One game, the Nets sat out KD and Kyrie against, and this is before they got Harden against the Grizzlies. So I knew that there would be teams that would rest against Memphis. And that's important. That allowed the Grizzlies to get a couple other wins that they probably wouldn't have gotten under normal circumstances without Ja being there. Ja's back and that team still staying afloat. That team doesn't have 5 seed in the West talent. Can we read to you some of the teams at the Grizzlies with Ja Morant and Jonas Valanciunas? And shout out to Dylan Brooks. But Dylan Brooks? And by the way, Jaren Jackson, the former 4th pick in the draft, he ain't played at all this year? Can I read to you some of the teams that this team is better than? Underneath the Grizzlies are the Phoenix Suns that have Devin Booker, an all-star, Chris Paul, a Hall of Famer, and DeAndre Ayton, a number 1 pick in the draft a couple years ago. The Portland Trailblazers, who got CJ McCollum. If you don't think he's an all-star, he's a borderline all-star. Damian Lillard, who's a top 10 guy in the league. I know Nurkic is out, but they got some pieces in Portland. I would say that they got more talent on their roster than Memphis does today. The San Antonio Spurs, coached by one of the greatest all-time in Greg Popovich, 2 always perennial all-stars in LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. The Houston Rockets, we kind of get they've had a unique situation this year, though they do have some proven veterans in John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Eric Gordon, Christian Woods having a breakout year. Victor Oladipo's there now, and they had Harden for a few games. They got more talent than the Grizzlies do. The Kings, Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley, they got some guys in Sacramento. They haven't met expectations over the last year. Grizzlies got a better record than them. Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns, I know has been in and out of the lineup. But D'Angelo Russell, the number 1 pick in Anthony Edwards, they got some guys. Malik Beasley. And also the Pelicans that we mentioned earlier. The Grizzlies, by far, are playing harder than New Orleans is. Winning more games than the Pelicans are in the 4th quarter. And that, to me, speaks to the difference of Ja Morant and Zion. Zion, you look at his stat line every night, he's going to get you over 20 points. But he ain't giving you double-digit rebounds. And Ja's going out and not only likely giving you 18 to 20 points, but he's going and making, if he needs to go get 10 assists in a night, he'll do it. If it's 10 rebounds in a night, he'll do it. If it's making an extra pass 10 times to a teammate that's got it going, he'll do it. I'm not saying Zion's a selfish guy. That's not what I'm saying. He's definitely not. But Ja is doing whatever it takes night in, night out to win basketball games for the Grizzlies. They're winning some games that they have no business winning at this point, as young as they are, and their leader being as young as he is. Bro, it's time we admit, I know it's cooler to say Zion is the future. Ja Morant is hands down today a much better player than Zion Williamson is overall. I mean, this dude ain't averaging double-digit boards. This dude, I mean, look, what, man? He can't get his own shot. He's limited outside of 8 feet. How are you going to tell me that he's a better player than Ja today? Just watch him with your eyes and tell me who pops off your screen. And by the way, I know both of those gentlemen, shout out to South Carolina, are both explosive athletes. But even as great an athlete Zion is, if you watch Ja Morant for 5 minutes, he still manages to pop off your screen more than Zion does, who's doing the freakish athletic alley-oops every night. That's how great Ja is. He was the better player and is the better player between him and Zion right now. Catch full new episodes of FERRO's music-based platform every day only on YouTube at It's Mr.Taliaferro. You can also find clips, updates, giveaways, and more on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also at It's Mr.Taliaferro. For all basketball fans, make sure you tune in to FERRO's daily highlights, reports, and commentary on YouTube at HoopsFerro, and even more updates on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at HoopsFerro as well.